This is a second stimulus check update. Great news, stimulus checks are officially included in the next stimulus bill, and I'll let you know the different stimulus check amounts that they're talking about. In terms of timeline, one senator said that the stimulus bill can pass as early as today or tomorrow, and I'll give you the details of when you could reasonably expect to get a second stimulus check. Two senators, one Republican, one Democrat, are expressing the need for a higher amount of stimulus check, and I'll play you those two clips. In terms of COVID vaccine, both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines have caused facial paralysis in several people. I'll give you more info on that. I hope you're having a great day so far. Quick reminder, I'm giving out $200 checks to my subscribers and I'm announcing the winners tomorrow. So today is the last day to qualify and I'll have details down in the description below. Let's get right to the good news. So congressional leaders have officially added stimulus checks to the bipartisan $900 billion relief package. So it is still $900 billion, but they're adding stimulus checks, which means they had to take some stuff out. So what they are scrapping from it is the aid to state and cities, as well as liability protections. Also, this originally had the $300 per week federal unemployment boost for 16 weeks, and now they are cutting it back to 12 weeks. So let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. Is it good to get stimulus checks but not aid to states and cities, or less weeks of unemployment boost? I'm really curious about your thoughts about this down in the comments below. In terms of feedback of this news, Joe Biden said the stimulus package is encouraging. He said this yesterday. It looks very close, or it looks very, very close. It's a down payment, an important down payment that's going to have to be done. It's very important to get done. Keyword here is he's saying down payment. So even though it is a smaller stimulus package, smaller stimulus check, he is still okay with it because basically he's saying it's a down payment for a larger package and larger check down the line, or at least that's what he's alluding to. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer said that he said yesterday afternoon that he's hoping for a deal later today or early tomorrow morning. So things are starting to move. Still at this moment, it's still words, no action or real action yet. And I know what you're thinking. When you see it in your bank account or see it in your mailbox, then you'll believe it. Let me play this clip from Josh Hawley, who is in favor of higher stimulus check amounts. Here's that clip right now.
Many Americans are in need, and there's a big discussion on Capitol Hill about how to get them relief. You and Senator Bernie Sanders are working together to push the idea of direct payments, checks, $1,200 for individuals, $500 for children. Is that part of the latest bill that was discussed last night among leaders?
I don't know the answer to that yet, Tony, but I certainly hope it is, because the most important thing that Congress can do now is to get assistance into the hands of working families and working people. These are the folks who should be first in line for COVID relief, not last. They shouldn't be an afterthought. Working people have borne the brunt of this pandemic, and they need direct support. And I'm willing to do everything I can, everything in my power to make sure that they get it.
So the pushback from members of your own party as well as Democrats is that the current bill, the $748 billion bill, already includes targeted payments, relief for rent, for hunger, for joblessness. And what you're talking about is expensive and goes to everybody as opposed to just the particular people in need. What's your response to that?
Well, first of all, working people are in need. And when you see the people, the lines of folks lining up for food support, trying to get help paying their rent, making their car payments. I just talked to a young mother in St. Louis with two boys who said that she can either keep making her car payments or else she can do something for her kids for Christmas. She can't do all of it. And this story is being repeated over and over and over. The need for food, for instance, is through the roof in my state. Demand for food up 50% in food banks. Here's the point, Tony. Working people are in need. We're not talking about giving checks to everybody, for heaven's sakes. We're talking about working families. We're talking about those who have borne the brunt of the pandemic. And the quickest way to get them help and relief is to get them direct support, is to give them a check like we did in March.
So then here's the key question. On the principle that something is better than nothing, are you willing to support, because we need everybody's support there in Congress for this to go forward, are you willing to support the $748 billion bill? They provide some relief if it doesn't include the checks that you're talking about.
No, I've made very clear that unless there is direct support for working Americans, I'm not going to support COVID relief. Why would the government, Tony, give hundreds of billions of dollars to big business or to government or to other entities and not give it to working families who need it the most? That makes no sense whatsoever. We need to target it to the people who need it the most, and that's working families.
Quickly, if you could, Senator, because we have to go, is that you're prepared to hold Congress back from their holiday break unless you get this direct vote on payments?
Every option's on the table, Tony. The working people of this country need somebody to stand up and say they need relief, and that's what I'm going to do.
Republican Senator Josh Hawley brings up a great point that the government doesn't even blink when it gives out hundreds of billions of dollars in corporate handouts. But when it comes to helping out American people with a direct payment, they are really stingy, especially during the time of the worst pandemic we've ever had in modern history. Last night, Kevin McCarthy leaving the Capitol, he said the fine details that we've got to get done, but those are the most important ones. Mitch McConnell said we're gonna get there, basically saying that we're gonna reach the deadline. Now, in terms of stimulus check amount, Senate Majority Whip John Thune, Republican from South Dakota, he said that the amount can be a $600 to $700 amount and still keep that $300 per week unemployment boost. So let me know what you think about $600 to $700 stimulus check down in the comments below. Should it be more? If you think it should be more, you're not the only one. So AOC has said that $600 is not enough, and if you are not happy with it, contact your representative or senator. So she said in a tweet last night, she said, and if you don't want your member to vote for a $600 deal, you really need to tell them that. Don't think, oh, I voted for a Dem and we'll be fine. No, if there's an amount that's too little or any other red line that you want them to vote no on, then you need to tell them that. And if you want to know the number to contact your senator or representative, I have that number down in the description below the video. It's the switchboard. You could contact any representative. Bernie Sanders tweeted yesterday, I'm happy to say that as we enter the holiday season when so many families are struggling, at least there will be direct payments for every working class adult and their children and an extension of unemployment benefits. It's not enough, but it is progress. Here's a clip from Bernie Sanders yesterday talking about this current stimulus check situation.
On Capitol Hill, where lawmakers say they are making progress on a new economic stimulus package is expected to include a new round of direct payments to individuals, something that our next guest has been pushing for very, very strongly. Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont is joining us from Capitol Hill. Senator, thanks so much for joining us. And I know this is an issue that is close to your heart. You've been critical of the current coronavirus relief proposals, saying they simply don't go far enough to do what is really needed. But from your perspective, on the latest information you're getting, what's missing?
Well, number one, the entire bill at $900 billion is much too low. It should be at least double that. So what's in this current bill is good, but it's not enough. Now, what I recognized a couple of weeks ago, that there were no direct payments going out to people in this country, many of whom are in desperate economic shape. As you well know, Wolf, we got a record-breaking level of hunger in America, higher than it's been for a very, very long time. You got millions of people who are facing eviction. They can't afford to pay their rent. They're going deeper into debt. And we're looking at people in the midst of the worst pandemic in 100 years who can't afford to go to the doctor because they don't have enough money. So what I have fought for, along with a Republican senator, Senator Hawley of Missouri, is to make sure there are direct payments similar to what we did in the CARES Act in March. And that would be $1,200 for every working class person in America, people under $75,000, a couple under $150,000, and $500 for each of their children. So a family of four would get $3,400, which is not insignificant in this moment when so many people are hurting.
But just to be precise, that yet hasn't been accepted, what you want, right?
That is right. Where we're at right now, as I understand it, is we're between $600 and $700 for adults and $600 for children. So we are making progress, but I want us to go even further, because I think when you ask people out on the street, what is the most important thing the government can do in this terrible, terrible moment, they will say, give us some help. We need some help right now to pay the bills. And that's what we're trying to do.
Researchers have found, Senator, that since June, it's hard to believe this is happening in our country, some 7.8 million Americans have fallen into poverty. Now, these are people who had jobs, were making a living, they were paying the rent, buying food, doing what they needed to do, but now they are in poverty right now. And it's hard to believe this is going on. And what's so frustrating to me and so many others, why is it taking so long to help these millions of Americans?
Well, I don't want to become overly political here, but it is clear to me that we have a Republican majority here in the Senate who has refused to entertain and still refuses to entertain the kind of funding that is needed to provide nutrition, to help people who are being evicted, to make sure that people in this crisis, can you believe it, in the midst of this terrible pandemic, everyone's afraid of getting the virus, and you got 90 million people who are unable to go to the doctor when they get sick. So many of us had fought for adequate funding, and we've met very stiff resistance from Mitch McConnell and the Republican leadership. But, what we got now is not enough, but it is something. And I'm just simply happy to say that as we enter the holiday season, when so many people are worried about how they're going to pay their bills, whether they're going to get evicted, whether they're going to feed their kids, at least, among other things, there'll be $600 per adult and $600 per child as well. So it's a start. I want to do better.
So obviously, even though you want more, you'll vote in favor of this compromise, whatever emerges. Is that right?
I want to read the bill. It's a long, long bill. But I'm feeling good that we have made some progress at least. A week ago, as you know, nobody was talking about direct payments. We got something in the bill, and I want to thank my progressive friends in the House for their good work on this. We're making some progress.
I mentioned yesterday that the Progressive Caucus, which consists of 100 members in the House of Representatives, said that they will not vote for any stimulus package unless it has at least a $2,000 stimulus check. So far, we're at around $600 to $700. We're not quite at that $2,000 amount yet for stimulus checks, but they are still fighting for it. So the co-chair of the Progressive Caucus talks more about the stimulus check late last night. Here's that clip from her.
How satisfied are you with what you're hearing about a deal right now?
Well, Ali, as you know, what we did in the Progressive Caucus is we united and we said we are not going to vote for a deal that doesn't have direct relief, money in people's pockets. And to us, that is direct relief checks and it is expanded unemployment assistance. Those are the two things that are the most immediate in terms of getting relief to people who have been suffering. It's been 9 months since we passed the CARES Act, and Republicans have held up any kind of relief over and over again. So we are really thrilled that 48 hours ago there was nothing in the package, and then the offer was, well, we'll put some relief checks in, but we're going to strip it from unemployment. We said no way, and now at least we've got this, which $600 per person. So that would be, if you're a family of four, that would be $2,400. So that's $600 for an adult, $600 for a dependent child. And I think that at least that is a little bit that gets people across the line, at this moment when a snowstorm is hitting and people don't know if they can keep the heat on.
Let me know if you agree with Representative Jayapal. Has the Republican senators been really stingy when it comes to giving out stimulus? Let me know down in the comments below, especially during this crisis. I think it's been going on for way too long. In terms of stimulus check timeline, so here's what we're looking at now. Today is December 17th. The House would have to vote on it tomorrow. Then the Senate would vote on it the following Monday, but they're saying that they'll work over the weekend. But if they were to vote on it Monday, then Tuesday the president signs off on it, then potentially, depending on the Christmas holiday, we could get stimulus checks before the end of the year. If they take their time and they wait until Tuesday, then the House votes on it Tuesday, the Senate votes on it Wednesday, and then on Thursday, Christmas Eve, December 24th, then they could pass the stimulus check or stimulus bill then. In terms of timeline, Senator Joe Manchin, who is one of the Gang of Eight who came up with this $900 billion bipartisan bill, he talks about timeline in this clip right here.
Sir, this urgent need has been going on for months. When Mitch McConnell was working on confirming a Supreme Court justice, people were going hungry, people were dying. So right now, let's say you get this thing passed. How long before people get that money in their pocket, get the support they need?
A lot of the vehicles are already in place from the first CARES Act to put a lot of money out, so they should be able to use that. The language we've used has basically been tweaked along around the needs. I've said this is around need, not greed. A lot of people got money that shouldn't have gotten it before, or got loans they didn't need. We were able to basically streamline this to hopefully get to the need of America. I just think there's a lot of good things that we were able to do and work out. It's a very good roadmap and template. I understand they're using that. And that's the only way we can expedite something, because the language, as you know, Stephanie, it takes a while to get the legislative language in place back from the bill drafters. We had already done that. So we're happy that we could play a part. We're happy that we moved them. We're happy that's going to get done. And we've got to continue to keep this alive. And like you said, rather than coming to a crisis every time and having to have a deadline, why can't we have a normal procedure? I'm excited about Joe Biden being our president, being able to work, understanding how the Senate should work, because he made it work before, and Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer and all of us working together. It shouldn't just be on the laps of leadership. It basically should be all of us participating in the committee process, Stephanie. That's how this works. And we shouldn't have the log jams we've been having. So we'll see what happens. We're excited.
As Manchin said, we'll get our second stimulus checks a lot faster compared to the first time around. A lot of the errors were fixed, and we already have the channels to distribute the stimulus checks really quick, hopefully this time. I'm hoping for that. Moving on to COVID vaccine news. So there was 244,000 cases yesterday in the US. In terms of vaccine news, Russia's President Vladimir Putin is saying that he hasn't had the vaccine yet because he's too old. Not sure if I believe that. So the Russian vaccine Sputnik V completely skipped the phase 3 trials, which determines the negative side effects of any vaccine. They skipped that part, and they want to mass vaccinate the Russian population. Vladimir Putin originally said that he was going to take the vaccine, but now he's saying that he's not because he's too old. Not sure if I believe that. Let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. So several COVID vaccine recipients got what's called Bell's palsy, which is facial paralysis or droopy face syndrome. So what this is basically 7 people who received the injection. So 4 people with the Pfizer vaccine and 3 people with the Moderna vaccine got Bell's palsy, which is a weakness or paralysis of the facial muscles. So some of the symptoms of this are half of the face appears to seem as if it's drooping, according to the Mayo Clinic, and it's more common than people think and usually goes away within weeks or a few months. Dr. Fauci is saying, he said yesterday that the US could return to normal by mid-fall if most people get the COVID vaccine. So saying that if we require around 75 to 85% of the population to get inoculated, then things can return back to normal next fall. So that's still about a year away before things will get back to normal. That is all the stimulus news I have for you today. To cheer up your mood a little bit, here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is a tip of the day. I want to tell you the one thing when you feel sad, you have to do something that you really want to make you feel better or make you feel true. Or you can also, if you help somebody, then you'll feel even better or something. Or if something's really into you and you're really feeling good, you should do that as well. Bye, this is Bella. This was the tip of the day.
And if you want to keep the positive vibes going and feel in a better mood, I highly recommend you click this video over here. It's on my Wise Vibes channel. I just published it this morning. It's 7 ways to build confidence. Confidence is just believing in yourself more and believing less in what other people think. And you could do so in just 7 different ways from 7 different people talking about confidence. So click that video now if you want to get in a better mood. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Be safe. Thank you for watching.